Hello. I find myself in a little bit of a talkative mood this morning. Had a good night's sleep, medicated well before going to bed, and slept like a rock. Got up this morning at 7 o'clock and good to go. And I feel like sharing one of my earlier memories with you. I like to call it the tale of the Black Panther Trail. It starts like this. I'm 5 years old, okay, and my parents had recently gotten me my first pet. Okay, um, this was in Portland, Oregon. My father was stationed there at the time, and this pet was a guinea pig, and we named it Patches because it was like a calico cat. It had patches of color all over it, and this guinea pig became my very best friend. He I liked him because he hung around me. He was the only one that would. Um, I would play with him a little bit there. And let him go. He would go running around the house, and he'd come back. He'd always come right back. He was better than a yo-yo or a boomerang. You know. And I just loved that little guinea pig. And I used to do everything with him. I talked with him like I talk with all of my pets and other animals and stuff. And he did bite me a couple of times, but I kind of expected him to, because even at the age of 5, I knew, that if someone as big as I was compared to him was throwing me around, I'd probably want to bite them too. So it didn't bother me. I just expected it to happen, and learned very quickly what not to do with him, so that he wouldn't bite me. And we were really good friends. We did all sorts of things together. And one day, first time I ever saw a thunderstorm that I can recall. Okay, and I can recall quite a way back there. Um, anyway, I hear all of this noise going on outside, the thunder. And I had heard that before, but I'd never seen what it was. So I decided I was going to go look outside and see it. I didn't want to look through the window because I wanted the full experience. Even at 5 years old, I was just that way. I wanted to experience everything. And I had been playing with Patches on the floor, okay? And I was distracted by the thunderstorms. I figured, hey, I want to go see that, right? So I open the door, and I'm standing in the doorway, and I'm looking, and I can't see the lightning. I can hear the thunder, and I can see the flashes in the clouds, but I couldn't see the lightning. And I remember saying to myself, man, there must be something really interesting going on the other side of that hill over there. And about that time, I said, hey, I thought of Patches. I said, man, wouldn't this be neat to share with Patches, right? So I start looking around, and I'm looking, and well, he was here just a second ago. Where'd he go? And then I noticed, oh shit, he's running full blast right straight for an open drainage ditch. Okay, and what I wasn't aware of at the time is this thunderstorm I was looking at over here wasn't the only one. There was another one on the uphill side of where we were that I couldn't see. And as he was running towards this ditch, it was dry at the time, but coming down the hill was a torrent. I mean, a flash flood coming down that hill. I could see it, but he couldn't, and he kept running right into that open drainage ditch. There was no way that I could catch up to him, and before you knew it, the water went down in there. Oh man, I was brokenhearted. I had just lost my very best friend, and all that broke my heart. I was in so much. I was so distraught from that. He's gone. My best friend is gone forever. I know now, being the kind of animal that he was, a guinea pig. They're survivors, and I'm sure that he went on to live a very happy life after that, if he didn't drown in the torrent, that is. But I didn't know that at the time. And as far as I was concerned, he was dead and gone. And you know, the next day, I decided, okay, it's time for me to go get another teddy bear. You know, because that's the way I saw Patches. I thought he was like a little living teddy bear. You know, and so I decided it's time to go get another one. Well, there was a path that ran behind the housing area there on the Air Force Base that went from our house over to where the flagpole and the business area was in the base. And it cut through a very thick patch of woods from our neighborhood to that neighborhood. And that path was called the Black Panther Trail. And first time I heard the name of that, it made me want to look around, you know, like Black Panther Trail, you know, and I got curious. Okay, I got to see what this is, you know, what is a Black Panther, you know? So a 5-year-old kid, I get on this trail thinking that this trail is going to lead me to the Black Panther, you know, and I'm going to get to see what a Black Panther is. Maybe it'll be a new teddy bear, right? Kids. I didn't find a Black Panther, but I did find an apple tree. And I love apples, so hey, I reached up to try and grab an apple, and without realizing it, I had stepped on top of a ground hornet's nest. And while I was reaching for that apple, there was a bee that was right there, and lo and behold, that bee came down and stung me on the head at the very same time I was being stung on the foot by a ground hornet. I was jumping around. I was like, what the hell's got me here, man? I was like, all I want is an apple, you know? But me, I study animals like that. And I realized, even at 5 years old, that it wasn't their fault. It was my fault because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, you know? But I didn't know what these things were. So I sat there and I watched them for a while. And I studied what they did and everything like that. And you know, decided, hey, this is one that I don't want to mess with, you know, it's got a weapon that hurts, you know. So I decided, hey, well, okay, let's take another way back home, okay? Because I like to explore, you know, I don't like to go back the same path, I like to take a new one, you know. So I take off through the woods this time, and I'm walking off through the woods, and I come out into an opening where there's a hill, a big hill there that's just all loose gravel and rocks, and at the base of it is my brother, my sister, and a whole bunch of friends there, you know, and they're all playing, and I said, oh, okay, there's something to do, why not, you know, go over there and play with them. Well, don't you know, we've got the perfect battle scene there, you know, we've got a low ground, high ground, a bunch of kids, and a whole lot of ammunition. Well, we split up teams and decided, you know, we'll have us a little war game, right? And we start actually throwing rocks at each other. Those of us down at the bottom of the hill, me included, learned very quickly that rocks hurt. Okay, that was a heck of a lesson right there, boy. We're sitting there dodging and hitting it, and we're getting cut and bruised and everything. The guys on top didn't learn that lesson as quickly as we did because, well, they couldn't feel that. They, you know, they did, though. They caught on. They said, holy cow, we're hurting them, you know. And so we all get back together at the base of the hill, and we're trying to figure out what to do. And we hear this, and we're all saying, what the heck makes that noise, right? All of a sudden we see this one kid, he's pointing up in the air and says, look at that! We look up and there's this remote control airplane. And I remember thinking, wow, there's a toy that flies. You know, and I said, that's neat. And this thing disappeared over the top of the hill that we'd been playing on behind the woods. And, you know, we kids, we thought it was going to crash over there. You know, we didn't know what was controlling that thing. We thought it was going to crash in the woods. So all of us, man, the whole group, there was like 20 of us, the whole group of us takes off through the woods, man. We're going to go find this crashed toy airplane, right? Well, we get deeper and deeper into the woods, and you know, kids, the deeper you go, the less interested they are. So the pack starts dwindling and dwindling and dwindling until finally it's just myself, my brother, and my sister that are with us, that are there, you know, and that's because our dad taught us, you stay in there, you do not give up, you know, you accomplish your goal, and our goal was to find that airplane. So we kept going. We walked quite a ways, and we came up on this another apple tree. This was a bigger apple tree. I couldn't reach the apples on this one, but there was a log sticking out of an open knot that was inside that tree. And you know, I thought, hey, Tarzan, right? I'm gonna swing off this log, you know. Well, I grabbed hold of that log, and of course, there's nothing holding it there. Someone had just shoved it into the knot, you know. And I grab hold of that log, and I start to swing, and it pulls down, right? And just as it pulls down, the air starts, and I'm looking around like, whoa, I just got stung by 2 of these things this morning, and here the air is full of them, and I'm frozen stiff like a log. And I start getting concerned about my brother and sister, so I look to see where they are. Very slowly turn my head to look to see where they are, and they're gone. They're running full speed ahead. And I turn back to see about the bees, and I notice, hey, they're gone too. Hello? I wonder what's in the log. I wonder what's in the knot, you know? So I go over, you know, I'm curious. I want to know what's going on. So I go over and I pull the log out of the knot, and I'm looking down in there, and I see the honeycomb down in there. Now, I didn't know what it was, but I just reached in and started playing with it, and I got the goo all over my fingers, and it was really sticky and gooey, so I said, hey, that's good, you know. So I sat there and ate some honeycomb for a while, and I feel sorry for the bees, you know. I mean, but how much could one kid eat, right? I didn't eat it all. Anyway, so now I've had this 2 really bad experiences and 1 really good experience from the same animal, and I'm like, wow, such extremes. This is nuts, you know. So I say, okay, well, I've had enough here, and I think it's time for me to go home. And I didn't want to go back the way I came. 1, because I'm an explorer, and 2, because that's the direction the bees went, and they might come back that way. So I decided I'm going to go this way, right? Well, this hill that we had been walking along was actually a spur, you know, a long spur. And I didn't really realize where I was at the time, but my sense of direction told me that if I go down the hill here to the houses, the row of houses that runs alongside the hill, and just go to my right, then, I mean, I didn't know right from left at the time, but I just, you know, go that way, I'll eventually get back to my home. Now, here's this kid, okay, 5 years old, alone, semi-lost, confused, scared, traumatized, walking down the road, and all of a sudden I hear this boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the heck? Hey, it's in my direction, so let's go see what that is, right? So I keep walking on down the road, and I come up on a garage where this band had set up their instruments, and they had a record cutting machine and everything. They were there, I guess, making a demo album or something, and I decided, hey, this is cool, let's sit and watch this for a while. That was the first time that I ever smoked marijuana. I gotta tell you, Those guys sounded good as far as I was concerned. And the trauma that I was experiencing was, of course, gone completely. I made my way back home, and I found my mother still in the process of pulling dead bees out of my mother's hair. Now, I ask you this. Are you going to argue the fact that nature led me to the medicine I needed at the time?